Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Mastermind Creations reformatted R-44 Tortor. This is Mastermind Creations' version of the Decepticon Justice Division member Tesarus, and he is this very weird looking, I think he's a construction vehicle, like a demolition type construction vehicle. Clearly alien. He's got these crazy treads up front. He's got these cow catchers so that he can bulldoze over anything he runs into. He's got treads in the back as well. He does have a missile launcher. I like to imagine that for Tesarus, this was a post-revolution add-on. But then his big defining features are these claws that can grab, a poor Cybertronian little robot and then go and deposit him into this grinding maw that he has that is his big distinctive feature. And yeah, this looks like Tesarus. I will say, this is the last of the DJD that I'm doing, just because this is the last one I got. We'll talk about kind of value for money later, but this is the biggest member of the DJD. So here is Tesarus. Last week I took a look at Helix. Moors is his MMC name. Here is Tarn. And then here is Kaon. And Voss is right here. So it's essentially been a step up in size every which way that things have come out. Voss, then Kaon, then Tesarus, then Moors, or Voss, then Kaon, then Tarn, then Helix, then Tesarus. And that's been really interesting to see. The price has gone up with each one as well. What has been also interesting is I feel like the smaller members ended up being the more fiddly ones. Voss, getting him to line up perfectly in his sniper rifle mode, from the reviews you can see that, it's a little tough. And then things just tightened up as we went on. And now that we've got Tesarus back by himself again, we can go over his play features as a vehicle. So he can roll. The treads don't move, but he has three 5-casters. He's got a big one back here. He's got 2 on each side of these treads, and then 2 up here. So he can slide pretty well. With his weight, it ends up being more of a, just kind of sliding him across the table. But the casters provide enough clearance that you don't have to worry about any of, this silver paint getting scratched or anything like that. For what his vehicle mode does, he does have this maw, and it's got, let's see if we can get the camera in there. It's got 4 sets of grinding teeth, which each rotate independently, so you can get in there and rotate each one however you want, which is really, really neat. He's got these grabber arms, which have forward and back articulation here. They rotate at each the bottom of these gold joints, and then they go back and forth at the top of the gold joint. The second gold joint is inverted, so back and forth, and then rotation, and then up top it's got another back and forth. So these can get wherever you want. They can reach all the way inside his own maw. They can reach all the way out here. The arms are individually articulated. He also does have a 5mm port at the end of the claw. So these grabber arms are really, really fun to play with. And then the last thing he does is he has missiles that don't actually launch, but if we can get them out, there we go. They're just like little plastic missile heads. I'm tempted to glue mine in place because during transformation sometimes they come to the side and I just don't want to lose them. So I'm considering just putting a little dab of super glue in there and gluing them in place. But yeah, that's it for vehicle mode. I mean, it is his vehicle mode, but I think most people that get the DJD, the vehicle mode is a secondary priority compared to making sure that the robot mode is right. And let's get into that transformation. We're going to get these claws out of the way. We're going to come and flip him around. I'm going to see if I can catch the missiles. Nope, they're going to choose to stay in. All right. So looking at his back, you can kind of probably already see how he's... There's a missile. Let's... Any more going to drop out? Nope. All right. You can see how he's essentially a robot mode laying down. But I think through the use of the clever parts, they managed to hide it pretty well. His forearms are tabbed into his back, and we're just going to come in and disengage each of... Actually, before we do that, we want to open up and allow his arms to move out of the way. And to do that, we need to untab here. This section of the tread can split in half. You can separate it, move this piece out of the way, flip the whole thing, and reconnect. There's a tab right here that gives him his double tread shoulder look that he has in the comic. Same thing here. Pull this out, flip it, plug it back in. And it feels good to transform him. Both Tortor or Tesarus and Mors or Helix are big chunky toys that it is a lot of fun to transform. We come in now on the back and we're going to just disengage. Give him a little ab crunch to get the clearance out. Oh, there's another missile piece. You still got two in there. You know what? Let's just take him out. I really don't want to lose him. Okay. We can... Yeah, no, we got room on the camera. We can come in and untab each of his arms, get them out of the way, and those arms are basically done. It's a very, very simple arm transformation. We can crunch down his back again, and we can come in at the legs. For the legs, the first thing we do is this piece collapses on top of his... These are like knee pieces. We can bring it up and collapse it up here. We can disengage. There is a tab and a slot on each side of his crotch piece. We can disengage those, and then we can come in at the bottom. And the tread has like this triangle tread that is held by this bracket here. The bracket actually is pegged into the bottom of the tread piece. So we can come in with our thumb, split the legs a little bit, and then disengage each of the silver pieces. There we go. Now that that is removed, we can move the tread down and we can see kind of how his leg ends up forming. This piece, so it was plugged into this hole, it's going to translate up here and plug into this hole. We're going to keep this beige piece out of the way. It is on a double joint, we can just push it up out of the way. We move the bracket down and we just plug in on both sides. Let's see if we can get his... There we go. Get that leg out of the way. There we go. And that is a foot almost done. The last thing is to flip out his little toesy. Like sozy. One thing I did already disengage was when I pull the leg out, there is a tab here that goes into his red crotch. That you can just split out, no problem. And then we're going to do the same thing on this leg. Pull the heel down. We can flip out the toe early if we want. That order doesn't really matter. Put this back piece up against the red bracket. Come down vertically with the red bracket and replug that piece in. I like that this is like disengaging and re-engaging to form a new leg shape. It's not parts forming, but it's like still moving around. I think that's pretty neat. This piece here, so I think he is shown with his crotch plate like so in the comics. I actually prefer to... I kind of like the look of this crotch plate, so just for comparison, if I flip these legs around, that's kind of what that crotch plate looks like, and to me it seems a little cleaner, but I think this is the more accurate way to display him. And I was thinking when I first got him and was playing around with him, I was trying to figure out if there was any leg extension here, and there's not. There's just this side joint that's there mostly for transformation's sake. And then there is our Tesarus leg all done. We're going to move our camera up. And you'll notice at this point he's mostly transformed. We just got to deal with his piece and hit the back of his head. So we're going to come in, turn things around, These two rear treads are plugged into this central pillar. So we disengage both of those, move the treads down. We're going to pull this piece, which has a tab right in here. Pull that off the tab and pull that piece down and out of the way. And then this kind of forms a pretty neat and clean backpack on him. You can just keep things out of the way. We get his grabber arms out from the sides, and the last thing is we open up this panel and we reveal Tesarus's head, which I do like that the way this guy is set up. You can do like a dramatic head reveal as the last part of his transformation. And he does look really, really good. This is Tesarus. I will say he's a little less stable than Moore's. I was trying to figure out if there was a way to extend out a back piece here to try and get extra heel movement, and I don't think there is. I didn't see it in the instructions, which is a little unfortunate just because of the way his backpack goes. He does kind of need to try and lean forward to keep his balance. But he is still very big, very imposing. We can put, I think I'm still not getting all of him on camera. We can put his missiles back on. And there is Tesarus, and he looks awesome. I loved his design in the comics, so it's really, really great to have him and the entire DJD now all together. In terms of articulation, his head has plenty of articulation. He actually does, that's actually exactly what I wanted to show off. The X piece is something that you can plug into his eyes. So he does have, it's like a mask. He does have a head with and without the X piece. He also does have a spare head just in case you happen to lose this one. The arms, the grabber arms, have the exact same articulation that they did before. He does rotate 360 at his shoulders, and we'll move those panels back. The joint is designed in a way that the double treads don't get in the way of shoulder articulation. He does swivel. This panel gets in the way, but that's just part of his design. He does bicep 90 degrees. He has individually articulated fingers, which is nice. They don't spread or anything. They're pretty decent sized robot fingers, and you can move them individually, but it's just in and out, and then a ball joint on the thumb. The wrist itself can go up and down. It's got wiggle, and it can swivel. He does have, per his transformation, he does have a waist joint as well as an ab crunch. You can get that crunching. There we go. You can get it crunching in about that far with him transformed. With his crotch the other way, you can get a deeper crunch. He does have a knee that goes that far. His kick goes out surprisingly far for such a big chunky figure. The knee gets that far before it starts running into stuff. And then the toes can wiggle on his feet. And I think for a big figure like this, that is plenty of articulation to get him in a big, mean, imposing pose. Like, I just like when he looks like he's about to slug someone, because that's got to be terrifying for any Cybertronian to face. And yeah, so that is Tesarus. I think, like I said, there's a couple things. He's not quite as heavy as I was hoping he would be, based on just how Moore's and Helix were. He's definitely, like, there's some hollow sections inside just to get him to fill out the volume he needs to have. He does have some fiddly bits, like here, and then I wish his ankles could kind of protrude outward. Here's the comic that he comes with, which is neat, and his little playing card. But yeah, overall, for $200, I think he's less of a recommendation than Moore's. I think Moore's just feels like it's a more solid piece. But if you're a fan of the DJD and you need to complete him, you're going to get this guy anyway. So I'll say that if that's the case for you, then he is worth the money because you're going to be really happy when you get it like I am. All right, that's it for today. We're just going to take a look at the DJD all combined, not combined, but all together in bot mode now. And here it is, the original Decepticon Justice Division all teamed up, and they look awesome. It makes me really... Hey, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me go get Nickel and the pet. Here we go. Yeah, having them together as a team in toy form is really, really cool. I think people have been patient to get them all together. You're able to finish the set last year, and I am glad that I've got it. Tesarus, again, like, if you wanted to get one figure, like a single figure from the line, I'd probably recommend Tarn. He's gotten a lot of remolds also. It's a really good toy. My preferences, I think, are Tarn, then Helix, then Tesarus, then Kaon, then Voss. But yeah, it's just all around, it's just really, really great. Thanks again, Mastermind Creations, for, you know, not just doing masterpiece figures, but doing designs like this as well. And I'll catch everyone later. Have a great day.